Gazing to the Ocean of the Sky. Written by David Silver. Read by No One and Nobody. Chapter 5. It's what my cutie Mark is telling me. With a combination of magic and helpful dragon claws, they carted Cherry off with her new pool. The crowd allowed them to pass before returning to the other things that drew them to the beach, even if the conversations drifted towards their curious visitor. Cherry looked over the town as she swam through the above ocean with the benefit of the water-holding device she was riding in. There were so many ponies. Did being dry make ponies make more ponies faster? Her little town was nothing compared to the vast metropolis that seemed to stretch on forever.
How do you live in such big places?
Twilight perked an ear.
This isn't one of our larger cities. You should see Manhattan or Canterlot.
They get larger? Cherry blinked with wide eyes at the very notion of it.
The largest place I know of is rumored to be as large as this place, and it isn't even as large as two of your cities.
She sank a little into the water.
Where are we going?
The ocean was getting perilously far away as they moved.
What if something happens to this tiny ocean?
Spike snorted from beneath, still supporting it.
Don't worry, we have it under control. If it really did break, we'd get another one.
Another one?
Cherry tilted her capped head, blue locks bouncing a little.
These are easily available?
She prodded at the side softly, amazed at its give and how it snapped back into place as soon as she stopped pushing.
What is it even made of? I can't place it.
Twilight reached up to give it a brief prod.
Rubber, by the feel of it.
She tapped at her chin, walking along on her other three legs.
I gather your ponies don't have access to such things? Fascinating. But you did a remarkable job modifying the robot you found. How did you manage that?
Cherry looked down at her belt.
I just did what felt right to do. I even got this mark for it.
She displayed her flank over the side of the pool for Twilight to see.
Behold!
A thought struck her, and she smiled.
Maybe you could tell me what they are? The pictures, I mean.
Twilight tilted her head at Cherry's displayed flank.
A wrench and a screwdriver. Very appropriate tools for working on this kind of machine. Were you using them? Yep. But you had no idea what they were? Nope.
She shook her head quickly.
They made the things turn, so I used them to turn the things until it felt right. Fascinating.
Twilight frowned a little, amazed and impressed.
Would you say you're comfortable with them?
Cherry leaned over the edge of the water holder towards Twilight.
I never felt more alive than when I was trying to make it work again. Do you know how to work with them? A little.
Twilight tilted her head as she put all four hooves to work trotting.
But I'll let you speak to some ponies who specialize in that sort of thing. I'd like to observe how far your instincts take you. I'd even suggest the pony who made the robot to begin with. But I think he won't be very approachable.
Cherry stuck her tongue out.
Did he really make it? Now I kind of want to talk to him, even if he was loud and angry. There are other ponies, though? I want to learn more.
She clapped her forehooves excitedly.
They won't mind me taking this with me, will they?
Twilight pointed up at the tub.
You're going to have to come out of that sometimes. I'm certain you won't be harmed by it. You're in less water than you've ever been before. How do you feel?
Cherry stiffened as she was reminded of her perilous position. But...
You're right. I'm not drying up and blowing away.
She smiled a little.
It still feels funny, and I like having the water.
She splashed some of the water with a flip of her powerful tail.
And I get all raspy if I don't keep gulping down some water. Nobody will want to talk to me if I sound like that.
Spike tilted his head from below.
The stories say merponies are supposed to have nice voices. So nice, they can lure ponies to jump off their boats and drown or drive their boats into rocks.
Cherry blinked at the very notion.
Why would we do that?
Twilight waved it off.
They're just fantasy stories. You prove quite nicely they aren't even the slightest bit true.
Cherry leaned over perilously.
But if you thought I could do that, why did you come rescue me? I wouldn't rescue a monster. I'd swim away.
She leaned a bit too far, and suddenly the tub upended. She was dumped roughly onto the sidewalk, and the water spilled everywhere. Twilight gasped with alarm, releasing the tub, which fell over Spike, as she rushed to help Cherry get upright and look over her for injuries.
Are you all right?
Cherry sat up with Twilight's help, head swaying a little from dizziness.
Ow!
She noticed she wasn't in the comfort of water suddenly and went rigid.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
She wrapped suddenly around Twilight, grasping her with hooves and powerful tail.
Don't let me dry up!
Her belt dug in a little painfully into the alicorn's side. Spike pulled up the side of the tub and crawled out, soaking wet and fuming.
You should be careful about leaning on something like that.
He glanced left and right before he started dragging the tub towards a nearby cafe.
I'll get this filled up.
Twilight gently petted the panicking hippocampus with the one hoof she could move.
It'll be all right. You just have to relax a moment. Spike is already getting more water. You'll be safe.
With a combination of magic and slow prying, she got Cherry to sit on the ground, trembling as she was.
See? You'll be all right. If you feel any pain or discomfort, just tell me.
She took a raspy breath and squeaked.
We both know that happens, but it's annoying. Not actually harmful.
Twilight tilted her head.
Maybe if you got used to it a little, you might not get so raspy so quickly. Do you really think so?
Cherry ran a hoof through her mane before setting it down to help prop herself up. She frowned down at her belt.
You have 4 hooves. They're like dry swimmers. They let you swim across the dry so good.
She reached out a hoof and tapped at one of Twilight's legs.
Well,
Corrected Twilight.
Here he comes.
She pointed at Spike, who was struggling to get the refilled tub back to them.
Maybe I should lend him a hoof. Will you be all right for a moment?
Cherry swallowed loudly, but gave a brave little nod.
If it'll be real fast, I guess.
She glanced around for any signs of predators. But the Dry seemed to have no predators, at least not inside their city. Still, even as Twilight trotted over to help Spike, she wanted to not be so helpless. She pushed up as tall as her forelegs would allow, but her tail was just a dead weight, and she had nothing to lift it up. She couldn't swim the Dry. Or could she? She pulled out her wrench and applied it to her belt, turning it carefully.